Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Talk with Just for Girlfriends. You are in for a real treat today. We have men joining us for the first time ever, and they are going to be open and honest about what men really want. So get ready, put your questions in the chat. We're talking about it all. But before we get started, for all of the newbies out there, we want to introduce ourselves. My name is Michelle Skinner. I am a member of Just for Girlfriends, a longtime member. I also serve on the board of directors. And as a director, one of my duties is to manage Just for Girlfriends social media accounts. So you'll see scrolling along the bottom how you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Please join us. We're going to be continuing this conversation there, plus a lot of other good information that you may find helpful. So Robin, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Robin McFarland. I am a board member of Just for Girlfriends, the first official member of Just for Girlfriends. And it's going to be a hot topic. This seems like it's going to be fun today, ladies. But I am, career woman, just like everybody else. These are my girlfriends here. And it is exciting to have a couple men, a little testosterone on here today. We already
Absolutely
had a little bit of banter. So I think it's going to be a fun hour, ladies.
Angelique, please.
Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Angelique David, the founder and CEO of Just for Girlfriends. For our newbies out there, Just for Girlfriends is a company that helps women embrace self-care by bringing really amazing experiences to our membership, as well as a very, very powerful sisterhood. So it's open to anyone. We have members across the country. You can join. It's scrolling across the bottom at justforgirlfriends.com. So click join now and join our amazing, amazing sisterhood. I am excited about today because we always talk about what we want, but ladies, we're about to hear what they want. If you remember, we had a show with Donna Coxum, and she talked about when they want Jell-O, they just want Jell-O. Don't cook a whole red velvet cake. So let's hear the Jell-O today.
Exactly. I'm excited about it too. Absolutely. So, like we mentioned, this is the first time that we have men on the show. Let's introduce them. Bring the men in. We're ready.
Uh-oh. They get scared. They must have ran off. Oh, here they come.
No, believe me, they aren't scared. Hi, gentlemen. I don't know if you know this or not, but you are our first male guest, and we are so happy to have you. Before we get down into the nitty-gritty, I'd like for you to introduce yourselves to our audience. First up will be Carl. Carl, briefly introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, ladies. My name is Carl Bishop. I'm from Florida. I'm a retired military guy, 22 years. I'm a stay-at-home, enjoying just doing the housework kind of thing. That's what I do now.
Okay, that's great. Hey, Ken. Ken Williams is also joining us. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, ladies. I want to take the opportunity first of all to say thank you for inviting us on for such a important topic that we all need to get a chance to know. Kenneth Williams is my name, and I'm just an ex-career guy who's looking to change in career, going into the mental health field, and looking to really enjoy counseling. And one of the fields I want to touch on is marital counseling. So this is going to be really good to get this information.
Oh, I got a feeling you got some good insight for us. Okay.
I don't. I'm here to learn.
I think we may be having some technical difficulties with our last guest.
I'm here.
Oh, Josh, turn on your camera, Josh.
My camera's on. I'm here. My camera's on. I can see all y'all. Y'all can't see me?
No, we don't see you.
That's crazy.
Well, we can hear you.
Y'all can hear me? Well,
yeah.
What's up? Well, look, we'll do it like this. What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? I'm Josh Davis. Thank y'all for having me on the show. Eventually, y'all will get to see me in a second, but I'm residing south side of Chicago, and I am a bartender / consultant and the founder and CEO of a company called Brown and Balanced, where I do advocacy work for Black bartenders across the country to get us a bigger piece of the pie and build our own table instead of waiting on other people to allow us to sit at their table.
Okay, we can see you now, Josh.
Okay.
Y'all see me now? I'm good. I'm good.
And I love that. I love that. Brown and Balanced. We'll give them your handles on social media so they can follow you and be a part of that before we close today.
Absolutely.
Well, gentlemen, I know you have heard that they say men are from Mars and women are from Venus. So we're trying to, let's give the women some insight into how we can better understand you in particular and men in general. And so what we're going to do, we're just going to ask some questions, start some dialogue. And Robin, why don't you kick us off?
So thinking about relationships, right? From there was a question I had underlined in here, Michelle, that I'm just trying to make sure that I get it right. So thinking about relationships, and here it is. Here's one. A perfect spouse one, I think, was the question I wanted to ask. And first of all, any of you guys spouses, or are you single?
What's the question?
Are you married or single?
Your relationship status. Let us know.
And you better answer right, or you're gonna be single if you're married. So,
Right.
Because trust me, her and her friends probably watching you.
Well, I'm married. 27
Okay.
years. 27 years.
So Kenneth is married. How about you, Carl?
I'm married as well.
All right. And
How
then
long
how
have you
about
been
you?
married, Carl?
15.
Okay.
Oh, damn. I'm the wild card and I'm single, ladies.
No, we got all perspectives on board.
Yeah.
So we're happy to have you.
You're single, ready to mingle. So then let me go on to my next question about since some have been married for a long time, and then we got Josh, who is single here. When looking for, what do you want women to know about you? If you had to come up with 3 words, what do you want them to know about you, and what you like, what men like? If you could do it 3 to 5 words.
Let's start with you, Josh, the single guy.
Man, what I want women to know about me?
Yeah.
The main thing I can say is oh man, what do I want women to know about me? I'm determined, I'm focused, and just understand me. Just understand me. Just take some time to really empathize and understand me, learn about my past, and see why I operate and move in the way that I do now.
Okay. Determined, single, and understanding.
Yeah, I don't think that's too much to ask. So, Carl, think back to before you were married.
Mm-hmm.
What was it when you were looking for a mate? What was it that you wanted women to understand about you?
I wasn't looking for a round-the-way girl.
Mm-hmm.
I was in it to be committed to it, and God is a part of my life.
Okay. I'm glad I didn't wear my bamboo earrings. I'm just
Look, I was like, oh, my hoop's too big.
That round the way jewelry.
Yeah. I got plenty of it too. Okay, Ken, what about you? What was it important for a woman to know about you when getting to know you?
Well, I'm going to say today is different than what it was back then. From a mature man perspective today, I'm going to say it's love, it's respect, and it's honor. Back then, it was something totally different. It was more so from a selfish perspective and all about me, as opposed to what it is to be in a relationship, what it is to be focused on her. It was more so, like I said, it was about me coming from an arrogant perspective, thinking that I was the man and that you need me as opposed to I need you.
No.
That's we're gonna get more into that as the show goes on. But I appreciate you guys' honesty. Those were 3 great answers. I appreciate that. So I want to know, and this is, for the married guys, think back to when you were single, ready to mingle. Josh, you think back to yesterday or probably early today.
Probably about an hour ago, about an hour or 2 ago.
So when you are out and, there's women out, what makes you want to approach a woman to get to know her better? What characteristics or what is it about her that will make you want to get to know her? Ken, you go first.
I thought we were coming to Josh on that first.
I mean, I jump in first.
I mixed it up.
I'm sitting back waiting for Josh.
I mean, I jump in first if y'all want. I don't mind.
Oh,
You know what
I don't mind.
Yeah, I just, I like to defer to OG. They where I'm trying to get to, so I like listening to brothers in their shoes already. You know what I mean? But for me, and I've worked in the bar, nightclub, nightlife scene for 16 years. This is my 16th year, so I see every type of person, male, female, whatever, all night. But when I'm out and I want to, I see a young lady, the first thing, of course, is a physical attraction. That's the first thing I notice because I don't know anything about it, right? So I see, a young lady that I think is pretty, and I approach her. And then after that, once we start talking, if she can't carry a conversation with me, I lose interest almost immediately. If everything is just, of course, when I first meet, everything's kind of surface. But as we start to talk more through an evening or if we exchange numbers and we start to have conversations, like if you can't hold my interest, if we can't just talk about just real life, I'm out. So conversation and communication is like the most important thing for me.
That's interesting because I think women are probably along that same vein too. I think everyone is visual, at least initially, but it's good to know. I would have never thought that men cared about the conversation based on what I've seen going on.
Nah, absolutely. At first, like I said, is strictly primal and physical. And then, as I move past that, like I'm 42, I'm a little older now. So, I need a little bit more to hold my attention than just the physical. You know what I mean? I've been single for a while and that ain't enough for me no more.
Going kind of leading on to that, and Carl and Ken, I want you to answer too, but leading on to that. So women, we're always worried about our even minor imperfections, whether it's a love handle or my eyebrows done or all of these, even those kind of imperfections. Are you focused on those imperfections, or do you think we get to, because you hear women now, they're getting breast lifts and butt lifts and tucks and tummy tucks and all that stuff. Are you looking for that? Is that what you want to see? Or are you okay? They got a little love handle and a little breast sag a little bit,
Wait, hold on. This question for me, because
it's for all of you.
Everybody. Yeah,
okay.
I really want to know that too.
Hey,
right.
We want to know this.
I'm looking at everything, but man, like I'm gonna be honest, like being outside, like I am in the industry, I don't need all that fake shit. Like, be yourself and be naturally you. You know what I mean? Now, I will tell y'all this. I look at the first thing I look at is on a woman. Like when my uncles and them raised me when I was growing up, they told me women always look at your head, your hands, your feet. So I make sure I always got a haircut. My nails get done at least once a month, and my shoes stay fresh, right? So that's me. So I tend to look at the same thing on women, but I always look at the feet first. So if the feet's right, if the feet pieces is right, I know as I'm working my way up, everything else should probably be all right as well. Because if you think about it, y'all women, y'all feet are covered 95, 96% of the time. We live in Chicago, so we wear shoes and boots. So if it's summertime and you got them hammer toes out, I'm good. There's nothing else for us to talk about. You know what I mean? Like I'm out. Because I know if you don't take care of something that I won't see, how much care do you put into what I do see?
Okay.
Ken, Carl, how do you feel about this physical appearance? I was recently talking to a male friend of mine, and he said, I don't want her to look like somebody's brother. And I said, what does that mean?
I would always think that no man, no woman wants anybody to look at who they're with and say, how did she get him? Because there's so many different things going on in, I say with male hormones. We are physical. The first thing we're going to look at is how do you look. I would just say I look to see, do you take care of yourself? And when we meet and when we talk, are you different around me than you are around your friends? Does that change? Or one day will you come out of the house going to the grocery store with a cap on your head that says I've been in the shower, I don't care how I look. And I've noticed that most women can go to Walmart or wherever and they say I was looking my ugliest, but I attracted 3 guys. my thing is, when you get comfortable with somebody, you get to see the real person. So I'm not. When I get to see the real person, I get to see what your heart looks like. I get to understand what do you really take care of. What I'm understanding is that whatever I reciprocate to you, it'll be reciprocated back. So if you ask me how do I look in this dress, some guys it could be a trick question, but you better be kind of smart about how you answer the woman when she say, how do I look in that dress? That's gonna be the same way with, baby, how do I look in this suit? Well, if you're gonna tell me that my stomach sticking out, or you could have fixed your tie up a little bit higher. Hey, that's being honest enough to say, I don't want you to go out with me looking like that.
Mm.
I got to take some pride in, and I got to tell you the truth, just like you tell me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Can physical imperfections.
Well, for me, I guess it's with all men, we're looking at the physical first. And just like Josh, I'm definitely in the summertime looking at feet. I'm definitely looking at toes. I'm definitely looking at the heels. And if it looks like you've been playing around in some flour or kicking rocks, then I know that is not something that you're concerned about. So therefore, everything else is going to be just I'm not going to be interested. I'm also, for me, looking for a woman of substance. I'm okay with a little extra, because at this stage in life, I'm thinking you have had some experience. You have had some kids. There are some things that have taken place. I'm not saying go on and sit in front of Krispy Kreme and get a gallon of milk and eat all the donuts you want, but I'm saying at the same time, there's going to be a little extra there. There's going to be a little warmth in the wintertime in Chicago. We want to want to hold on to that.
I know that's right.
But I'm also, once again, just looking for someone with substance, someone who have great conversation. And you know what? If we're going to go out and you're going to ask me the question, what you look like, I want to be honest and be able to exchange that honesty with you, while at the same time, if I ask you the same question and my tie is lit crooked, I want you to straighten my tie up. I want you to fix me up the way you want me to look when I go out, because when I go out, I want guys to look at you. I want you to be the baddest thing in the house, so that I know that's a compliment to me.
Mm.
And I want to be that to you. So when we can come along and be, that for each other, then we're moving in the right direction. But if we can't have honest conversation about the small things, we're kind of wasting our time, and we should be able to a place to help promote each other to move elsewhere, because there's someone else that is better for you. And I don't want to be the one to get in the way. I want you to be happy, and I want you to make sure I'm happy. And if I'm not the guy, let me know. We'll move on. I'm okay with agreeing with disagreeing.
So I think what I heard is that at least the 3 men in our panel, that y'all don't mind a little cellulite. Women might be tripping when they worried about having too much cellulite. Did I understand that right?
Take care of yourself the same way I do. I'm in the gym 6 days a week. So
you care about cellulite. Okay.
Take care.
So Josh and Ken don't care.
No, they're not saying
She needs love too. I mean,
yeah,
that could be that fine sister. She may not always been like that, but hey, that black woman has always had the curves.
So what it sounds like is I think we women, you don't have to go get breast lifts and cellulite reduction and all of that.
The BBL,
and take care of yourself, whatever yourself is, and also be working toward making sure you're taking care of that and looking good and presentable. It doesn't have to be the big old butt and the size 2. It's just whatever.
I ain't played with no plastic dolls when I was a little kid, so I ain't finna do it when I'm an adult now.
Okay. I like that.
But the other thing is really having this particular conversation, because when you ask us, then we can be honest with you about what it is. And I think sometimes we get lost because it's an assumption of what he likes. It's an assumption of what we like. And we're not having honest conversation, because if we're going to have the honest conversation, then we have to be willing and ready to receive the honest answer.
But
Most
So then-
people
I
are
think
not.
Laura, I don't know, I can't pronounce her last name, Espejo. She said I was a little inappropriate. I'm not sure what I did that was inappropriate, but I apologize. It surely was not my intent. But I did want to acknowledge that I am not an inappropriate person, so I apologize for that.
Can I ask a next question that might be leading and might be a good transition into if a man enjoys a woman's company, because we know what they like. So if you think you enjoy their company, will you let them know? Will you let her know? And how do you do that? I hear a lot about, a lot of texting for a long time, not picking up calls, maybe not having dates, that sort of thing. I guess in the day and age of app dating, so to speak, or online dating. But how do you let a woman know that you enjoy it? Will you let her know?
I think communication is huge.
Okay.
I think once again that there has to be clear communication. With letting you know that I'm interested and want to move to the next level. I think those are good conversation to have. But in today's age with the Me Too movement, we have to be very careful in what we say, how we say it, how we come across, how we look at you. And so there's so many things that's thrown in the flame now that we just can't leap out there without, hoping we don't come across as pervs or someone who is stalking someone. So you got to be careful. And so for me, I would have rather wait for you to have that conversation with me as opposed to me leaping out there, because I don't want to come across in an inappropriate manner.
Right.
Okay.
Well, no one likes to be rejected. So I think as a man, you have to be kind of careful about that. And that's got a lot to do with how you're raised as well. Whereas as a young man with a mother and a father, how you learn how to be in the presence of a young lady. I mean, it's certain things you want to have conversation about, and Ken's right. Communication is huge. I mean, going out with someone and then you don't call them for 5 days, and all of a sudden you ringing the phone and you wondering why it's not being answered on the other end. That could be a big sign. Well, evidently, the person could be saying, "Well, you didn't call me the day after, so evidently you couldn't want to talk to me now." So you might want to, if that first date is really great, I mean, you have some sort of chemistry. Yeah, you should let them know. I mean, get the real answer. If I'm not him, hey, just say so. I'm moving on, or I'm going in a different direction. But that silent thing, it doesn't work too good. I mean, all of a sudden every man becomes a dog, or he just like the rest of them. I mean, that's something some guys don't want to hear, because we're not all the same.
Yeah.
Right.
So you guys speak up. Josh, what do you think? Because they have wives over here. You out here.
Right.
Okay, look, I ain't out here like that. Okay, I'm not
saying that, Josh.
Look here, I'm a
saying
hopeful Christian man. No,
You're just stating, yeah.
No, but I mean, to piggyback on the OGs, like, I'm the same way. Communication is the most important thing. Being an entrepreneur, also being a single father, like, my time is very, very valuable. So me spending my time with you when I could be working, or I could be working on the next project, that tells you that I really care about you. I really want to get to know you, and I really like you. But I'm also very upfront when I don't. I just had the situation happen about a month ago. It was someone we met, went out a couple times. I wasn't feeling it, and I was like, I'm just not gonna lead you on, shorty. Like, we could be friends and we can be cool, but that's as far as it's gonna go, because I'm not gonna be, like I said, I'm not gonna be that guy that gets lumped in like, oh, he just like everybody else, or he took it there with me and we got physical and this and that, and then he just didn't call me no more, didn't want to be with me. I'm never gonna be, labeled that. So I'm very, very upfront, very bold, very plain. Like, you're gonna get it straight. Like, it's
not
no
get
BS.
Confused, right?
Yeah, you're not gonna be confused at all. If you're confused, you confused yourself, because Josh gonna keep it 100, and 50 with you all day long.
I like that. That's a refreshing change,
That is. So leading, that is a good lead to my next question. So what's one thing that women do that annoys you? Whether it's your wife, Or Josh, you seem like you got a list because you bust out laughing.
Nah,
You scared to say it. So
no, I ain't never scared. You know, I ain't scared to say it. I ain't.
So
Quit
something
making up in your mind what you think I said. I got a saying. It's like he said, she heard. Right? Listen to what I said, not what you wanted to hear.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like I see it all the time at work. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I work out, so I see blind dates and I see couples and I see all different types of stuff. And then in my own personal life, like take what I say and you can take it to the bank. Do not make up in your own mind or talk to your girlfriend, your just for girlfriends, and y'all figure out some whole other shit that I never said. Like what I say is what I said, and that's it.
So what do we do? Oh, that's the thing. That's what annoys you when we hear
God.
something different than what you said.
Lord have mercy, please.
We overinterpret.
Yeah,
Okay.
y'all overanalyze, overinterpret. It's like y'all watching game film, like y'all in the NBA. Like it ain't. It ain't that deep. Like if I say, "Hey, I'm not interested," or if I say, "Hey, I'm interested," that's what it is. There's nothing more, nothing less.
Okay.
That's the Jell-O and the red velvet cake.
Yeah, that's the Jell-O and the red velvet cake. Ken, what about you?
You know what? For me, it is holding me to mistakes of yesterday. And you know, I even as a father, I had to learn to not hold my kids, but allow them to mature and grow. The same thing in a marriage or in a relationship. You have to allow each other the space to grow, the space to make the mistakes, but the space to forgive and let it go and not hold on to it. And therefore, you're not bringing it back up. Whether after you don't say, I forgive you for it. That to me burns me up. So if you're holding me to it, then you're never forgiving me for it. So therefore, we're constantly reliving the same thing, and you're not allowing me to grow as an individual. You're not allowing yourself to grow, and you're not allowing the union to grow. So you are handicapping the growth spurt that we could have when you're holding on to the past.
That's a good one, but I want to challenge you on that one.
Come on.
What if the woman is trying to forgive, but the reason why she's bringing it up is because it's still hurtful? And so are you asking her to just let it go and forget about it and just deal with it on her own? Can't she openly say, you know what, I'm still feeling some kind of way about what you did?
We're talking about it's a process. So you have to go through your process, and we have to allow you that space, either it's you or him, that space to go through that process. However, in going through your process, it doesn't mean that I need to be held to that thing. So therefore, I'm allowing you your space, but I'm also growing in the process, and I am moving on, because in that, whatever that hurt was, because it hurt you, it also hurt me, because I hurt you. And because you're not in tune with me, because you're caught up in your hurt, and therefore you're not communicating appropriately with me, then we're all guessing. And instead of helping each other, now we're hurting each other. Instead of completing each other, now we're competing against who's hurt the most. And therefore we can't move forward. So I want to give you your space, and I want to be there to nurse and whatever it is that you need. But I'm not going to be there to relive the mistake that I made. I don't want you to be there to relive the mistake you made, so that we can grow, so that we can move forward.
You know, that's a great perspective, Ken, and it's actually very hard to do. But I don't like it when people throw stuff back in my face too, because I mean, unless I'm continuing to repeat those behaviors, I don't want to hear about it. Either you're going to forgive me or we need to move on. So that's a great perspective.
Yeah.
Oh, and I like this comment too. Complete each other, don't compete with each other. That's pretty good.
I was gonna say too, I think it was Carl that said earlier, he's a God-fearing man, right? And I'm not the most spiritual, but I do believe in that, and that we sin every day and we mess up every day, and God at some point forgives us all. So at some point, even though, as my brother said, you got the process and we're gonna go through it, at some point it ain't necessarily letting it go, but like you said, we got to move past it, or we just got to move on, because after a while, we're just on a hamster wheel and we're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and that's not healthy mentally or emotionally for either party in the situation.
Yeah,
I agree. I would agree, because what I would say is where Ken was at. I call it stand in the rearview mirror, because if you continue to be in that rearview mirror, you can't move forward. And when you do, when you make that next head-on crash, and if you don't talk, and if you're not talking about it, it becomes a huge bomb that blows up out of control. So
It will.
we're not creating the same problem over and over again, but stand right there in the moment to hold that conversation. And if you're going to say that I'm Christian enough, or I'm man enough, or I'm woman enough, and this is where we're at, and this is what we're talking about, when we end that conversation, it should not be something that keeps coming back and you pulling out the Louisville Slugger and you're hitting deep, and you, instead of allowing that wound down to heal, you just reopen that wound.
yeah.
So that's
You know
kind
what?
of
Something that Josh says as for the question. His pet peeve is, when we are talking with our girlfriends over analyzing things. I want to know, what do you talk about with your good friends?
Good one. Your chuckle cracks me up.
we just study the Bible, and that's it. That's all we do. We don't...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, what do you talk about?
Yeah, it's time to be honest. Come on, everybody want to know what when you just with the guys and y'all shooting the breeze. What do you talk about with respect to women? I should say.
well, guys talk about if they're honest, and if they call those real good friends friends, and know the difference between good friends and acquaintances. They're probably, I'd say, let me reference this as their toolbox. In their toolbox, they probably have things going on that they might not think their buddy next to them has going on. But it could be something in there that probably he's been through that will help his friend, a good friend, because it's kind of hard. I think we were having that conversation. I was having a conversation, and we were talking about when you're critiquing another brother. Hopefully that other brother that you're critiquing is your best friend. And I always say, if you don't want to know, don't ask. If you can't take the pain that I'm finna give you, I'll be as polite as I can. Don't ask, because when you need to hear the truth, you need to hear it.
Yeah.
So okay, so that was a lot of. I want to know specifics. What do y'all talk about? Did y'all?
Yeah. What do you say? Is it like my woman is getting on my nerves because of this, or dang, I'm trying to be faithful, but this shorty is hollering at me? I want to know what do you guys talk about? Be honest.
So, in all honesty, ladies, there is a guy code, and what we will not do is break the guy code. Now, you can ask this question, and you can fix it any way you choose to. But there's a guy code. And I think what Carl just gave you really was a great answer to your question.
No,
I didn't get it.
But I respect the guy code, because we got a girl code. So I
got a girl code.
What is the guy code? Oh, you're not gonna tell
they
us.
They don't say anything, Michelle. They're like vaults.
But I'm not talking about specific. Don't say what Robert said. I'm saying in general. When you guys get together,
Josh was
not gonna say anything.
Josh
Go ahead,
Josh.
No, I wasn't. Josh don't know. He wasn't. Josh don't fold, don't bend, don't break. Josh wasn't spilling nothing.
No,
I'm real good.
So I think men. Somebody, Edith Joyce said, men gossip just like women do. So I think that's probably what they're doing.
That's what that sound like.
Yeah, they don't want us to know.
I'll give the best answer then, huh?
I'll give y'all this. So for myself as a brother that's single, I seek out brothers like the ones that are on this panel with me when I need real advice. So any brothers out there listening, like, find you some OGs, some guys that's been in the position you're in now. So the things that you're going through, they've already been through, and they're where you want to be. Seek those brothers out for advice. Don't talk to your single homies like me all the time, because you're going to get a jaded view because of the situations we're in. You want somebody that's a little more settled, a little more calm. So I'll give y'all that much, but I ain't breaking that guy code.
Not the guy code. All right.
How about this one? What are men insecure about? generally? Really?
Hey, sometimes it could be sometimes it could be their weight, but a lot of men, sometimes it can be
Mm.
the ideal of, hey, if I go in the kitchen and I cook you a good meal and I gotta, hey, how was that? How was that? Go ahead and tell me what you think. Or did I take you to the right place?
Mm.
Hey, is this where you wanted to go?
Mm.
Well, some of us are insecure about understanding that sometimes when you speak, we should be taking notes about what you say that you like. Just like riding in the car when you say, well, we could say, are you hungry? You might say, yes, I am. And that might have been a question 5 miles ago. Why didn't you stop over here and get me something to eat? So we don't always read minds, but we can get at certain times,
Mm-hmm.
we can wait 240 and still get shamed
Mm.
in your presence.
So you're insecure about making us happy, whether you're making us happy or not.
That could be some of us, yes.
Okay.
Ken, what about you? What are men insecure about?
That's a really good question, because I think we're no different than you. I think we're insecure about the same thing, because when it comes down to it, we are all humans, and there are things that in the human race that we are insecure about, and it vary from individual to individual. So I can't speak for all men. I just know there's things where, you know, at times it may be one thing today and tomorrow it may be something different. But I think when you, especially in a marriage where you are really working on it and coming together and you're growing and you're becoming that one, um, whatever my insecurities are, as my spouse, you should know them as much as I should know yours. I should know, we should be able to get to a place where we're able to finish each other's sentence. But that takes time. And so it is a constant process that is happening. But I think we're all insecure about similar things.
You know, someone in the comments said that men are insecure about ED, erectile dysfunction. And that's the first thing that went through my mind. Seems like if men are going to be insecure, it's something to do around their performance. You know, they put a lot of emphasis. You know, their ego is based a lot on their performance in the bedroom. Is that true or not?
And that's what we maybe
That's what
That's what we think. That's what I'm saying. Is that
different.
true or not?
I
Any
think
brothers out there that's insecure about that, if you take care of your body will take care of you.
Mm.
and the
Any
other
brothers
thing
that might have them issues.
the other thing, Josh, is men are insecure about things, because I think if you have the same conversation, you ask a woman, she's insecure about going through the change of life.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, when you look at those things, that's a part of that we're growing together, because there's going to be some things that's going to fall off.
Yep.
But then there's going to be some ways where now you got to say, well, I talked with some older guys. They say, hey, you got to find another way. You got to find another way. You got to see what it is. You've been with her long enough. You should know what makes her happy, because sometimes the stimulation starts with the mind.
Mm-hmm.
And if the mind is stimulated, everything else is going to follow. You're just going to give it to me. So if he's having that issue, he's going to be able to take care of you no matter what, because he has stimulated your mind.
I love that.
Yeah. Someone else put in the comments that men may be insecure about their ability to provide. What do you think about that? Is that true or false?
That's true. I can speak for me. That's been true in my life. You know, I had a great example of a dad and great uncles that showed me how to, you know, quote unquote, be a man. So I've always worked, you know, my ass off basically to try to provide, be the best dad, be the best father. And, you know, being a dad, we don't talk about it a lot. You know, I got a hashtag that says Black Dads Matter, because, you know, unfortunately, there are a lot of single women that have to play the mother and father role, which sucks. And none of y'all should have to do that. But even in that, there are some fathers like myself, and I'm sure the two gentlemen on here as well, that we are active and we are there, and we never feel like we really get that credit that we should get, because it's so much negativity with the other brothers that aren't handling their business as well. So I know for sure in my life that's been, you know, a source of insecurity. But then I had to look at myself and say, my kids are good. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm active. I'm present. My baby, it's funny, they're here now. Like, my kids are always with me. So I know that I'm doing the right thing and moving forward in the right way.
That's awesome. We had a viewer say something, and I would echo Ken what you just said. Is stimulation starts with the mind. So for all you brothers out there, that is absolutely how us women feel.
Absolutely.
It is. If you mentally stimulate us, you got us. It's just where it absolutely starts. So Ken, you nailed that one on the head there.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I ask you all about successful women? How about that? How do you feel about successful women? Having high-powered jobs, maybe making more money than you, having more influence than you. How do you all feel about that, or feel about dating a woman like that,
or being married to a woman like that?
Married to a woman like that, yeah.
I as being as a married guy, I would think, I would think, maybe everybody doesn't think like I do. It's great to have a woman that's hey, in the mind of a black man, I'm gonna say it like this: if you wasting your time worrying about what your wife makes, and if you're in a union and you call it marriage, then I thought it's 100 per 100, not 50-50. Because if you're married and your mindset is we doing this together, there is no you make, I make. It's a we, not I.
Right.
And if you spend your time feeling that you're not doing all that you can because you make 60,000 and she makes 100, then something's wrong. You don't really know each other. You wasn't best friends and you wasn't partners when you got married.
Yeah.
Because that's the wrong kind of recipe to have.
It's funny that you say that. I remember a long time ago, I was going to introduce one of my friends to one of my husband's friends. And he specifically asked, like, what does she do? When I said, oh, she's a lawyer, she's a partner in a law firm, she's doing real well. He wasn't interested. He was like, he didn't even want to meet her. I do not want to get involved with a woman who makes more money than me. So that is definitely a thing, you know.
And I would say that's insecurity. Because one key thing is one person's success is not another person's failure. So my success is not his failure. It's my success, it's our success. And so I think when you see that, when people are always comparing each other, or men and women comparing what she does, maybe it feels like that's their failure. But one person's success is not someone else's failure.
But I think you're speaking from a mature woman perspective. And if
you're trying to call me old, Ken,
mature, you know,
you're old soul.
It goes back to what Josh said earlier. Hear what I'm saying? Hear what I'm saying? I just think that, like, for me, I'm okay with my wife if she's my sugar mama. Because at the end of the day, we're doing this together. At the end of the day, we have to look at how did you get to where you are? We had to, at some point, do something together for you to be in the position to be successful, whether we alternated taking on the responsibility with the kids, whether it's paying for schooling or allowing you the space to go back to school. I mean, all of that to me is like, kudos to you that you are in position where, you know, you're making more money than me. I mean, society and sometimes your friends cloud the thinking and they want you to believe, but most of the time those friends are the individuals who are more envy of what you have and most of the time want what you have. And so, you know, walk away from that man or walk away from that woman and see the friend and see how they come at those two individuals. So we have to be very careful in how we think on that level. And I know there's some men who are just insecure about that, but that's their issue. That shouldn't be her issue. And if she has prepared herself to do that, he should be lifting her up, praising her. And yeah, babe, we did this together. Now, when she said, no, I did this on my own, now you got an issue.
Yep.
Now you got an issue. Because if we're thinking on that way,
her humility.
Yeah. Because if you're thinking on that level, then, you know, we're probably going to bump heads along the way, and it's not going to be a good thing. And I wish you well. I'm all about help promoting you to be the best you can be, whether that's with me or without me, because I want you to be happy.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
to
that's pride
piggyback
on
that,
humility.
go ahead. Yeah, and to piggyback that too, let's just look at the last year and a half. That job really don't mean shit because it can be taken away like that.
Absolutely.
So to
Right.
piggyback what these brothers were saying, you know, if we don't have that foundation built between us, what you make, what I make, and whatever, that don't really mean nothing at all at the end of the day. It's really about mutual respect for each other and who we are to each other, you know, at the end of the day. And yes, I'm down for a sugar mama. So if there's any watching,
Let's make it clear, right?
if any watching, you know.
But I will also add, even when we look at it from a spiritual perspective, right? As the husband, I'm going to cover my family. I'm going to cover my home. And if I'm covering my home, your blessing to be where you are is me being in alignment or trying to even get in alignment with God. And it's coming through me to get to you. So I am your covering. Until that goes away, your blessing is coming through me and not the other way around, because then it's out of order.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We have a comment in here that thinks you guys aren't telling the truth. So Elliot, why don't you type in the comments what you think they're not saying real if you have a different perspective?
Oh yeah. What's a red pill man? Like, I don't even know what that is. You're right. He said this panel needs some red pill men.
So look, Elliot, what you think your truth is. We'll hear that too.
Yeah, let us know. We'll get to the bottom of it, that's for sure. Well, we have time for one more question before we go into this game we're going to play. But so I want to know, what is it like when a man falls in love? Describe what that's like.
Good one.
Don't all rush to get started.
I think love is a beautiful thing. I think love looked like us being able to hit on all cylinders, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and even to when it comes down to just being able to be vulnerable with each other and have those conversations. And it is what you make it. But sometimes, you know, we fall out of love too. So I think it's just as important to know who the person is, because if you don't have a solid foundation, love come and go. But that solid foundation that is built on something and is built on your faith and it's built on us having an agreement that regardless of what happened, we're not going anywhere. We're going to build from this because that centerpiece is God. I think love is a beautiful thing. It's one of the, fruit of the spirit. It's the first fruit of the spirit. It's love. And I think it's so important that we express that with one another. We can fall in and out of love, but love, we can still love one another.
I'm saying, if you're falling in love, are you doing anything differently or saying anything differently, or what are you feeling? You know, do your palms sweat? I want to know, what is it like?
Canceling all your fantasy football plans? Like, what does it look like?
I'm gonna pass that buck to somebody else.
Yeah, I'm like, no.
Josh, have you fallen in love recently?
Not recently,
ever?
No. Yeah, I've been in love. I've been married before, so you know what I'm saying.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, so I'm like, I'm not in love now or been in love in a while, but I do know when I have been there, I'm fully and completely and 100% transparent. The wall is gone. You know what I mean? Like, there's nothing you can't get from me. There's nothing you can't. You know what I mean? Whatever you need, I'm gonna be there for. Like, I'm fully and 100% immersed in you when I'm in love. But then, you know, on the flip side, like my brother Ken said, when I'm off that, it's completely like nothing. It's like you never existed. So
Gosh, and that's quickly. That's quickly.
It's a one-shot deal. Like if I trust you to the point where I fully open myself up to you, like I'm in love with you to that point, I fully trust you and I believe in us and all of that, and you kill that, ain't no coming back.
It's so interesting because you always see, men do things in relationships, women fall out of love too, but we're always taught to let's see if we can work this out. We can regrow this, have patience. Y'all
But
don't do
there's
that.
certain
You like,
things.
you mess up, it's bad, I'm gonna forget your name.
But
Is
it
that
ain't messing
what
up.
I'm
But
hearing?
it's not
You
messing up
said
like
like they never existed, Josh.
yeah. But it ain't messing up like you just you left the cereal open. You know what I mean? It ain't messing up like that. But like if you do something that's to me in my boundaries unforgivable, then you don't exist to me no more.
Like, what if a woman cheat on you? Is that the kind of boundary we talking about? Stepping out?
But that's subjective though. That's subjective. The cheating
Okay.
thing is subjective. I hate the hard line people put on cheating because there is
Mm.
it's a gray area in there somewhere.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So
Okay, wait. Now that's a whole new question because what's the gray
A
area?
gray area. Yeah.
I
I
mean it's
want
a
to know
gray
what's
area. I
the
mean
gray area.
there are some people that cheat because they just fucking greedy. Excuse my language. There's just some people that do that because they just fucking greedy and just want it all. And there's some people that make a choice to do it because of whatever they feel they're missing and this and that. So it's still a gray area in there at some point. You know what I mean? You never really know what's going through somebody's mind when they choose to go that route, male or female. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look, all the women was trying to get at Josh. Now they like,
I'm like,
Now, look, hey, anybody trying to get at me, don't cheat on me now. I'm crazy. Don't do that.
I'm crazy.
I'm a little nuts.
Or
Don't cheat
he'll
on me now.
act
Don't
like
play
you
like
never
so
existed.
basically, your boundary on forgiveness is the reason why someone cheats.
my boundary on forgiveness is community. Now, at 42, yes, it's communication. 20, 30-year-old Josh, it wasn't nothing to talk about. But now that I'm a little older and I've had a little more life experience, I know there are factors that lead into decisions people make. If you notice, I ain't say cheating was a mistake because it ain't no mistake, it's a decision. So there are factors that go into decisions people make, whether they make right or wrong decisions. So now I'm at least talk to you about it. And then once I assess the situation, if I feel like I can't deal with that, or I'm not going to let that go, or I'm not going to be able to move past it, then we dead. It's over. We're done.
I see. Yeah, that's pretty
okay,
much the same.
that's
thing.
real. That's real.
Okay, so we got 5 minutes, you guys. And what I thought would be fun is, and it's actually not really different from what we've been doing, but I wanted to play our version of the dating game. So I know everybody's not a bachelor, but we're going to ask some questions, and we want all 3 of you to answer briefly. Who wants to go first, ladies?
I'll go first. I
Okay.
got 2 of them on my ass, right? So the first is, and quick fire questions here. A perfect spouse is one who fill in the blank.
Josh, you first.
One who works with me.
Works with you. All right.
Carl?
How about you, Carl?
Communicates.
Communicate. Ken?
One who is a helpmate.
One is a helpmate. All right. And then my second is, what would your spouse or girlfriend say is the best thing about being with you?
Hmm.
We'll go backwards. Ken, you first.
Charisma.
Oh, charisma. Okay.
Mhm.
Spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
Loyalty.
Spontaneous.
Oh,
Loyalty.
loyalty. That's a good
Love
one. Yes. Okay, Angelique.
Okay, quick fire. Here we go. If your house was on fire, what is the one thing you would grab before leaving? Josh?
Move them shoe boxes.
Love the shoes. Yeah, we heard
Shoe
that. Yeah,
boxes.
grab his
Yeah.
shoes.
Carl?
It would be my wife.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I like that. Carl, I'm going to call you later to learn how to
It's
answer.
gonna be,
He's grabbing the shoes.
I'm not going out like that. It's going to be my wife.
I'm calling both of y'all to learn how to answer these questions. I got y'all, for real.
Okay.
No. We want you to be honest now.
My
Okay.
next one- and you don't have a wife yet, Josh.
I don't got no wife. Yeah.
Okay.
Me and my shoes.
Okay, next quick fire. Would you prefer to love your mate more or be with someone who loves you more?
Love my wife more.
Ken?
Love my wife more.
Yeah. Same. I want to love her more.
Oh.
Really? That is interesting. May I ask why? We got a little bit of time. Why would you want to be the one in the relationship who is loving harder or more?
I'm
Just
supposed
curious.
to give her the world. I'm supposed to give her the world. So that's just what I'm supposed to do as a man.
Y'all making me tear up. This so
Oh,
We grew up hearing that you always wanted to marry somebody who loved you more.
yeah.
I grew up hearing that often.
mm-hmm.
If I love her more, she's going to love me.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so my turn. I guess I'm going a little bit left here, but I want to know, if you are no longer interested in a woman, how would you let them know? Carl, you can go first.
Deuces, really?
Yeah.
Him and Josh act like they don't exist. That's what they told us already.
No, it would have to be the courtesy of letting her know face to face,
You would let
and
them
not
know.
by text and not by phone.
Mm-hmm.
You would just say, you know what, this isn't working. We need to go our separate ways.
That would be the
Yeah.
best way to go.
No
Okay.
ghosting. No ghosting,
No
Carl. I
ghosting.
like that.
No ghosting.
What about you, Josh? How are you letting them know? Oh, you told me you throwing up the deuces. You just
Yeah,
like,
I'm gonna do just like Carl. We're gonna have a conversation, and I'm just gonna just tell you what it is. Like, I'm not feeling it, so we should.
I think the respectful thing is to have the conversation. I would like to be like, I'm out, but I think the respectful thing is to have the conversation. But I don't know. I'm kind of contemplating what the conversation would look like.
But you also gotta make sure, though, because depending on the girl, like, I don't know, you brothers been out the game for a minute. Some of these women is a little nutty, so you might want to be on the phone with them, and instead of, because I don't do scenes, I don't do stupid stuff in public, because I have a business that I'm a public figure in my business. So sometimes you have to assess who you're dealing with and figure out how to tell them. Like, you still need to be completely blunt with them, but you need to figure out whether I should do this over the phone or whether we should be able in person in public.
Just in case.
Whether she has a gun permit or not, right?
I got mine, so don't worry about it. I'm a good shot. I'm a real good shot.
Corral with Josh. Okay. But yeah, I mean, those are things you got to think about this day and age, right?
Yeah.
They're a little nutty.
Crazy
Those are the
out
first few minutes of the conversation, Josh.
Yeah, hey man,
When she first started talking.
I had one pull up on me at my bar, and I said, "Hey, we don't do that here. Dude, this is why I make money. We don't do that at all." So
that's so true. That is so true. You do not want to be that
yeah.
business owner.
Don't make me call security. I don't want to do that.
Okay, one last question, real quickly, before we get out of there. How would your partner, spouse, girlfriend, friend answer this question? My husband, boyfriend has more blank than anyone else. I think we already know what Josh got more of.
I ain't
Shoes, right?
No, probably shoes. Yeah.
What about you, Carl? You have more blank than anyone else.
Patience.
Oh, okay.
Ken?
Joy.
You have more joy. Those are okay. You guys are good. Oh my gosh. So does anyone, let's see if we got just a little bit more time left. Oh, somebody in the audience asked this question at the beginning. I put a note to make sure that I asked. This, I guess, is for the married people. And I don't know how else you're going to answer this, since this is broadcast to millions of people, but would you marry your spouse all over again? Carl, would you marry the same person, do it all over again?
I would.
And you couldn't say no because she.
I know, exactly.
No,
We'd have to do it
I say that from the perspective what I've been through. My wife has been like a pit bull. She's an advocate.
Mm-hmm.
When you're ill and you can't speak, and you need somebody to speak for you, and somebody that has that faith, I needed a pit bull, and she was that pit bull for me.
I like that. I like that.
Ken?
If I had to do it over again, I would marry my wife again.
You would?
I would do some things different, but I would definitely marry my ride or die.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. So I guess, Josh, you can answer. You were married before. You gonna do that again or not?
I'm gonna get married again, not to her, but I definitely get married again.
Yeah. But it's good to hear that even though you've been divorced, that you're not jaded and don't want to get remarried.
Absolutely. The marriage is never the problem. It's usually the people involved in the marriage. It's never the marriage union is not a problem at all. It's just sometimes just a bad match.
Yep, that's true. That's a great perspective. Well, our hour is up. Oh my gosh. Thank you guys for coming on and answering some of these questions that women have that we may not have someone that would be open and honest, enough to tell us the truth. So I know I've learned a thing or two, and I hope our audience has too. But let's keep this conversation going in the comments. If there's something that we did not get to or something that you want some clarification on, please, put your questions in the comments. The gentleman will visit, and so will we. We'll get you those answers. And while you're at it, please like and share this video. We appreciate it. We would love for you to share this with your networks. Now, as we mentioned in the beginning, please follow us on social media. Visit us on the web. There's lots of information there, and you can join by going to our website, which is scrolling along the bottom, and click join now. Ladies, if you're looking for a group of supportive women, someone that you can, or a group that can help you really focus on self-care, it's not always easy. Just for Girlfriends is just what you're looking for. We'd love to have you. But in the meantime, follow us on social media, get to know us a little better. We love to catch up with you there. Now, Real Talk with Just for Girlfriends. We're here the first Tuesday of every month. So we will be back on October 5th, the first Tuesday in October. We'll be discussing aging gracefully. We'll have some tips for you. And we're not talking about just the physical. I know people say black don't crack, but it actually can, and the inside primarily if you don't, do some things. So we're going to be getting into it. So we hope to see you then. In the meantime, bye. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.